Hey, shh. All right, I would like to call the meeting to order. Sarah, would you please call roll?
Commissioner Kelly,
Here?
Kip,
Present.
Siegfried,
Here.
and Commissioner Oakes is absent this evening.
Next on the agenda is appointment of chairperson. Sarah, would you please present this item?
Commissioner Kelly was most recently appointed to serve as chairperson in 2023 for a term of 2 years or until her term expiration. Commissioner Kelly's term expired December 31st, 2024, and she has met her term limit on the Planning Commission. However, due to the departure of Planning Commissioner Carl Bliss, the City Council approved a 1-year term extension for Commissioner Kelly to avoid having 2 vacancies on the Planning Commission for the first part of 2025. As a result, the Planning Commission will need to reappoint Commissioner Kelly to serve as chairperson or discuss a potential alternate to serve in this position and make a motion accordingly. If a new chairperson is appointed, they will assume the role at the next meeting.
Do you want to?
You can.
Well, I'll move to appoint Commissioner Kelly for a reappointment.
Is it for a 1-year term?
1-year term. Or would it be for 1 year or 2 year?
1 year.
Okay, on here it says 2, so 1. 1 year?
Yes, or it depended who was selected.
yeah.
So
Since
it's 2
we're-
years
since
or
we're-
until their term expiration. Commissioner
Okay.
Kelly term is 1 year.
1 year. Okay, I second that motion.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? I will abstain. Motion carries. Next, approval of the minutes. Is there any discussion of the September 30th, 2024 regular meeting minutes? If not, is there a motion to approve? Any discussion?
I motion to approve the meeting minutes as is.
A second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next are the public hearings. First on the agenda is Bayhaven Len Pratt project. This is to consider the annexation petition for 4745 Stagecoach Trail owned by Bradley and Janet Anderson and surrounding properties owned by James and Christine Otto and Frank and Kathleen Thompson for the proposed residential planned unit development preliminary plat and related land use applications submitted by Len Pratt's Homes. Sarah, please present an update on this application.
Commissioner Kelly, members of the Planning Commission, due to plan revisions that were submitted by the developer today, the city has made a decision to postpone consideration of this development proposal until such time staff has had sufficient time to review and comment on the plan revisions to present then to the Planning Commission and Council. Seeing nobody's here, we would like to still formally open up the public hearing to discuss the annexation of this parcel, and then a motion to continue this public hearing to be considered at the next Planning Commission meeting with the development plan.
All right, I would like to open the public hearing and invite anyone wishing to comment to come forward to the podium, state their name and street address for the record. No one is coming forward, so I move to continue the public hearing to an upcoming Planning Commission meeting with a date to be determined by city staff.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, next on the agenda is considering a conditional use permit for Lenny's Garage to conduct auto sales with outdoor storage and display at 379 Fifth Avenue North. Sarah, please present the details of this application.
Thanks, Harrison. The subject property is located at 397 Fifth Avenue North and Zone B2 Central Business. It's surrounded by a mixture of commercial businesses on the north, east, and west property boundaries and residential on the south. Auto repair is a permitted use in the B2 zoning district, but auto sales and display requires a special use permit. Applicant Brennan Swanson purchased the property in 2023 and has been operating under a temporary interim use permit with a primary focus of auto repair and online auto sales by appointment only. The interim use permit provided an opportunity for the city to evaluate whether the use may be appropriate for the site long-term. The permit also specified performance standards and improvements required for the property. The City Council held a workshop in early December to review the interim use permit and evaluate the improvements that were made during the interim period. Following discussion, the City Council expressed support for consideration of a permanent conditional use permit for the site with conditions and operations consistent with the interim permit. The applicant is proposing to continue the same operations and performance standards that were stipulated by the interim permit. Primarily, the use will consist of auto sales and display with a focus on online advertising and sales by appointment. Hours of operation will be Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., with the exterior building lights to be deactivated by 10 p.m. The interim permit required minimal improvements with the understanding that the applicant would be required to make more significant improvements upon the issuance of a conditional use permit. As requested by the City Council, the applicant has agreed to replace the gravel area along the west property line in front of the building with concrete or sod to comply with city ordinance, reduce sediment runoff, and enhance the appearance of the site. The proposed site plan consists of 16 stalls for outdoor sales, display, and employees. Customer stalls are indicated in orange on this diagram. And auto repair will be confined to inside the garage building. It should be noted that the applicant's submittal included an additional exterior stall, number 19, that's kind of in where that pink dot is in the lower left corner. However, to be consistent with the interim permit and to retain an appropriate drive aisle for customers, the site plan has been revised to eliminate that stall. Although the site is clearly deficient in meeting many of the dimensional standards of the current ordinance for auto sales, such as lot area and setbacks, there is an opportunity to bring the site closer to compliance with city code regarding impervious surface, landscaping, and stormwater. Staff has outlined some items that the Planning Commission may want to consider, including as conditions of approval for the conditional use permit, such as replacing gravel with hard surface or landscaping, and implementing some on-site stormwater treatment like vegetated swale or a rain garden. This slide outlines the findings of fact of which staff is basing a recommendation of approval for the conditional use permit subject to the conditions listed in the staff report. Staff recognizes that the city's current ordinance regulating auto sales was adopted many years ago and is clearly meant to regulate more traditional type dealership with on-site advertising and display, as well as an unanticipated volume of drop-in customers during business hours. The interim period confirmed that the use has not had a negative impact on the surrounding neighborhood and is an appropriate land use for the site. Some of the more significant conditions of approval are summarized on this slide. For the record, notice of the public hearing was mailed to all property owners within 350 feet of the subject property and published in the Stillwater Gazette on December 27th. The city did not receive any public comments for the record related to this application. Tonight, the Planning Commission is asked to provide a recommendation to the City Council on the applicant's request. At this time, staff would be happy to take any questions before opening the public hearing, and the applicant, Brennan Swenson, is also present and available for questions.
Right, at this time, does the Planning Commission have any initial questions from staff or the applicant before opening the public hearing? Do we have any questions for, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did not.
No, so the prior stipulations you gave that you wanted for this past year or whatever, they met all those. I saw they updated some things. Those are all done and it's...
Commissioner Siegfried, yes, those improvements have been completed.
Okay.
So I noticed in your application, you're the property owner, right? Okay. Do you want to come on up here to answer questions? Thanks. I noticed in your application you had noted you would like some time to put concrete or asphalt in the area that has gravel right now. What are you, I know how ridiculously expensive it is for
Exactly.
concrete.
It's super expensive
so,
to do it. I plan to do it anyways, along with other like repairs to like the concrete that's there is pretty old, and there's some stuff that needs to get repaired on the concrete. So I'm going to do that as well. I just, it's going to be like probably $20,000 or $30,000 to do all of it. I just don't want to be slapped with it. Like, do this now to get your permit.
yeah.
I plan to do it anyways. I just don't want an upfront large bill in my lap to make it happen like instantly.
Yeah. Sarah, how long do we usually give property owners to meet the conditional use?
Commissioner Kelly, that's at the discretion of the Planning Commission and Council. I think staff has recommended that this be completed by the end of kind of the construction year of 2025, which would be usually October for concrete, weather depending. If the Planning Commission feels that's too restrictive, we can extend that. I would say usually about a year is an appropriate amount of time. If the applicant feels that's too stringent, you could look at extending that into 2026 construction season if you feel that's necessary.
What would,
Yeah, I would like, a minimum of like 48 months, so 2 years. Or no, sorry, 24 months. 48 months would be nice. Just because, we're a new business, and to start the year off with putting an extra $20,000, $30,000 into the place, really, it's going to be tough for a young company. So.
But the one portion that they're saying that should be made from, that's gravel, that should be concrete.
That's going to be like 15 to 20,000.
So that portion could be done. I know you're saying like the
Oh, the other stuff,
would
yeah,
be-
that's not required, but I want
Right.
to make the place look nice, obviously.
Right.
I own it, so it's not like I'm renting it or something like that.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So do we say like a certain portion has to be done within a year, like this?
well, it kind of,
or does it?
you're kind of saying you want to do
Yeah,
it
like 2
all at
years.
the same time.
It probably won't be
in
all at the same time, but
In the,
yeah. I'm planning to own this place for a long time. I'll be
Yeah.
continuing to do upgrades forever, so.
so,
So the required portion then could maybe be a priority? along with
Right.
the
So that
finance
required
stuff.
portion, I'd like at least 2 years to be able to tackle it.
'Cause the other stuff
I would
you
like
can
to do it this summer. If things are going well, I'll do it right away. But it's just a big pill to swallow to pay all that right up, right away.
so really, if we gave extra time, it wouldn't exactly be 2 years because you'd really have to get it done by October-ish,
Right, yep.
2026,
Right.
because
Yeah.
that would kind of be as late as you could go with
Yeah.
latent concrete.
Yep. That'd be fine with me.
Yeah.
Should be able to handle it.
We can certainly discuss that more. I saw that in the application, so I wanted to. Does anybody have any other questions for staff or the applicant?
I don't have the staff report in front of me, but the staff report was October of 2025, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you're saying October of 2026?
Well, that's what I think he's kind of asking for.
Yeah,
I
it'll
don't know
likely
what we
be
should-
done this summer. I just want to have a little bit of cushion just in case something comes up. We have an unexpected bill that something happens and we have to pay it. I don't want to not be able to pay it because I had to do this right away or something,
Right.
Just a little cushion is all.
Okay. I'm totally fine with the extension. So fine.
Does anybody have any other questions? Then we can discuss it.
It's been gravel since 1920, so it's a couple more years is I think we'll all live.
All right. Before we get to our discussion, you can sit down if you want. Or you can stay up there. I'd like to open the public hearing on this application and invite anyone wishing to comment to come forward to the podium and state their name and street address for the record. There is no one, so I move to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
I second that.
All those in favor, say aye.
Right.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, at this time, I'd like to entertain further discussion or questions from the Planning Commission. I agree that giving extra time, you've made improvements on the property, you're following through on what he's done and is keeping that property.
Requirement, so it's, I'm happy to do it. It's just-
Yeah. I think that would be appropriate to recommend to the city council that it be to October 2026. Is that do you have any thoughts on that, Colleen, or any other thoughts?
I think that's fine. We can propose that. Yeah, I guess if that was part of the whole plan originally, we just want to make sure it gets done. So, yeah, if we want to put that time frame, just a stipulation on it that has to be completed before then, like you have to meet these requirements on that one portion, not on all the
Yeah.
updating. Yeah.
Yeah, the other stuff that he wants to do, that's, at his discretion.
Right.
This is the one thing that we really have to opine on, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus the putting signed and striped stalls where they want them in other. We are not putting the extended time frame on that, I would say.
I was more worried about having to ask for permission to pave it and do all the go through the hoops and ladders and, figure all that out. So the fact that you guys are wanting me to do it, it's like, sweet, and I don't have to do make me all worried that I'm gonna have to battle a whole long process of paving.
All right, any other discussion? Nope. All right. I move to recommend the city council to approve a conditional use permit to conduct auto sales with outdoor storage and display at 397 Fifth Street or Fifth Avenue North, subjects to the findings of fact and staff recommended conditions of approval, as well as the planning commission's recommendation for the extended time frame on paving the gravel area. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. There is no old business or new business. All right, general announcements. I would like to announce that Commissioner Orrin Kipp has been appointed to serve another 3-year term on the Planning Commission through December 31st, 2027. Thank you for your continued service. I would also like to congratulate Carl Bliss on being elected to the City Council. The city is currently accepting applications to fill Carl's seat on the Planning Commission. If you are interested in the position, please email a letter of interest to City Planner Sarah Taylor. All right, next on the agenda is the open forum. The open forum is a portion of the meeting for the public to ask questions or comment on subjects related to land use that are not a part of the meeting agenda. Anyone wishing to comment shall state their name and street address for the record. No one is here to comment. All right, so that concludes the business of tonight's agenda. Do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you.